Welcome back to the Voices of Women Summit, where in honor of International Women's Day 2022, we are raising the voices of hundreds of women so their messages can be heard. Your host for this session is Diane Alexander. Diane is the creator of Stage Confidence, Nervous to Noteworthy in 6 weeks. She's got another amazing guest coming right up. Take it away, Diane.
Welcome to Voices of Women. I don't have much of one right now, but boy, do I have someone who does, and she has some wonderful things to share with us. Minah Hashmi is an amazing 13-year-old in the 7th grade. Her favorite subject is math. She also enjoys competing as a member of the school debate team. Wow! Outside of school, she's been playing piano and violin for 4 years and enjoys performing. In her free time, you can find her on a tennis court or reading self-help books. You're amazing. Oh my gosh, and I'm not even to the second paragraph yet. Her talk title is The Me I Want to Be. Oh, I'm looking forward to this. Minah is a student athlete, musician, and considers herself a lifelong learner. During her Voices of Women Summit presentation, she will share aha moments she has learned from her passions, hobbies, and interests, and how they are empowering her to become the next best version of herself. Minah, welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's start with, why don't you tell us about your interest in sports?
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. So, a sport that I play that you mentioned previously is tennis. I've been playing tennis for 7 years, and it is one of those areas of interest that I have no doubt I will succeed. It's something I have a very full self-confidence in, which is something that I'd like to say for a lot more of my interests. And my self-confidence doesn't waver as I am very competitive in my sport, and I'm humble when I win. I feel like my wins are deserved rather than given to me, and it's something that I really, really enjoy. I have a favorite, actually, I have a favorite tennis player, and her name is Naomi Osaka. Most people have heard of her. She's a very famous tennis player, and she's quite young, actually, for the fame that she has. She has a documentary, and she really inspires me that to always be humble, and there's always room for improvement, no matter how good you are, and not to say this in a negative way, but there's always room for improvement. Even Naomi can improve.
That's a very positive thing. That's a very positive thing. How long have you been following her on the tennis route?
I've been following her for only about 2 years because I only found out about her 2 years ago. But I will always remember her even as I grow older because she's going to be likely one of the most famed tennis players of all time.
Oh, that's so exciting. And so she inspires you to do better and be humble and still know you have room for improvement. Fantastic. So, is there oh, you already said that. Tell us about your love of music.
So I am a violinist and a pianist. I've been playing both for 4 years. And other than music, the notes, the accuracy, tempo, and everything else involved in music, I love how it connects people. Because in my orchestra, have a section of violinists that I play with. And other than how I've connected with them in terms of actually playing our instrument, I've connected because of the mistakes we've made in front of each other and how we've learned collectively so much together that I feel like socially I've learned so much other than just my instrument.
It's really true. Violin's my favorite, and I also have a piano over there, and it connects, excuse me, you to your soul, and it also connects everybody together. I mean, is there anything more exciting, like when you play with someone else and you all play together and that music comes together? It's like, ooh, that harmony. I would love for it to be for the world to experience that way that we can be together, because nothing matters, what color you are, what sex you are, what grade you are. None of that matters when you're playing beautiful music together. It's the music that brings you together. That is so right. And we have people saying, yes, music is a great connector. Always room for improvement. Yes, you've got lots of fans here. So I understand you have a favorite composer. Who would that be?
So for piano, my favorite composer is Bach. Now he's a very, very famous composer. And his
Mhm.
music is very, very challenging for the level of piano that I play, but it challenges me. Sometimes I feel discouraged, but how hard it is really excites me because it helps me remember that there's so many opportunities for improvement in piano. And there's so many things I can learn to do as I learn new pieces. So, other than being sometimes a little bit difficult, he really inspires me and excites me to play more.
Oh, that is awesome. Yeah, Bach is definitely challenging. Bach was one of those composers where they wrote the music theory rules based on what he did. It wasn't there were rules and then he did them. They based the rules based on what he did. It truly is. Don't you find that when you do master something of Bach, you feel like, I've really accomplished something good. It's like it made you stronger.
Yes,
Yeah.
it definitely helped me feel stronger. And it always improves my confidence and helps me when I learn other pieces, very difficult pieces, because knowing that I've already completed so much helps me complete even more.
Fantastic. So I understand you're a member of your debate team and also a member of the Speak and Shine Youth Club. Take them separately. I want to hear about both. So tell me about debate team. How did you get on it? Why do you like it? What things about it have made you grow stronger or more clear about what you want to do?
So in my middle school, in sixth grade, though it was online, I joined the debate team. And in this debate team, there are many members that I have actually made very close friends with. So it really helps me to have an opinion when I state a fact in an argument, and having facts and people to back what I say gives me a lot of confidence and helps me when I speak to others in a view that may be different from what others believe in. And in my debate team, I have the role of rebuttalist. Now, I don't want to be contradictory, but I believe that the rebuttalist role is one of the hardest roles there because you cannot prepare too much. It is very impromptu. You have to listen to what the other team says for argument, and then you have to rebut that or state how their facts are incorrect and how your own team's is correct. So it is quite difficult, but the Speak and Shine Public Speaking Club has really helped me with my impromptu speaking. And it helps me with strategy in terms of how long to speak, and honestly gives me confidence, even outside of debate, even when speaking normally. It helps me speak more about what I want to speak and get my message clearly out of my mouth, even when sometimes my thoughts might be a little bit jumbled.
That is awesome. It sounds like it's giving you structure and ways to think about things so that you put them together and then you have a strategy. I mean, that's amazing. Uh, I could use a little more of that sometimes too. It's just the ideas come in and blah, 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 blah. But if you're going to make a point, it's really nice if you have that structure and especially like the logic to present it clearly. You're really young to be able to doing that so well. That's a good thing. That's a really good thing. Do they compete, or do you just have teams within your club that you play against, or how does that work?
So per practice, we just create teams inside our club, but we do compete against other middle schools, and that is quite stressful sometimes, but it is really enjoyable. And even if I lose, even if our team doesn't make it, I know that we all did a great job. And all of my team members, I mean, kudos to them. It's really their work that makes our team an actual team.
I love how you are working as individuals, using all of your talents to make a team work, and that goes into. We'll talk about it. Do you think that that affects our communities? That model, the model of your team,
Definitely.
and tell
And
me about that. Yeah.
clubs like that, even clubs outside of debate, since there are many clubs offered in my school, definitely help people make friends And making friends, people sometimes underestimate the value of that, but having friends and making many connections can really help our community as a school be bonded a little bit better, and to have understanding of others is a skill that is useful for anyone.
Absolutely. I also love because you're also spreading and sharing ways of speaking in coherent, strategized, structured ways that help people communicate more clearly without getting all riled up. If you can have a nice conversation and be okay to talk about your differences without getting the blame guns out, I mean, that is really a gift to our society. I welcome that. And so you have the debate team. And does the Speak and Shine Youth Club, that's a separate thing that helps you with the debate team? Do I have that correctly?
Hmm.
So
And
tell me a little more about the Speak and Shine Youth Club, because that wonderful name has come up so many times today. I'm so impressed by the wonderful people like you that are coming out from them. Talk to me a little bit about that.
so the Speak and Shine Youth Club is a club where people my age and even younger, actually, it's I when I first joined the club, I was very shocked to see how young the members can be. And we come together as a club. We all have different roles per meeting, and there's usually a meeting theme that we have to contribute to. Recently, the meeting theme was games. So there's an impromptu segment in the meeting, which is usually my favorite segment, where we all have to speak for 30 seconds minimum to a minute, 30 seconds maximum. And in this, you have to talk about the meeting theme, and there's also a word of the day that you can include. And I really like that impromptu section because Dr. Sunny also gives feedback during the meeting and after the meeting about how you can improve your impromptu speaking. So I really love the club. I think it's something that has helped me so much with my self confidence, and it's given me confidence in what I say and how I say it.
That's it's clear. You are confident and you are clear, and it's really a pleasure to hear you speak. Um, so I understand you have a love of reading self-help books. Do you have a favorite one?
I definitely have a favorite one, actually.
You
It's right
tell.
here. So, this is my favorite self help.
Oh my
Is
goodness!
How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And
Yep.
it is my favorite book. It is one of the first books I read, one of the first self help books I read. And I started reading self help books around 2020. So my mother tells me, when she saw me reading this book, my mother told me that whenever she would come home from school, if her father, my grandfather, if he was home, he'd be sitting on the couch and he'd be reading this book. And she says he's read it so many times. And he used to tell her and her siblings, my aunts and uncles, to read this book all the time, even as they grew older. Read this book because it will change the way you think about people and the way you make friends.
Oh my goodness. Do you have what lessons or nuggets can you share from that book about winning and influencing others? I think you have maybe 3 points, or if you have more, I'm all ears.
So this book is definitely an oldie, but it's a goldie. It's around 80 years old, I think. And from this book, one of the points that I learned is to smile. Now, smiling is something that we all do when we laugh at something, when we see something we enjoy. We smile. But I don't think that everyone realizes the significance that a smile has on a conversation. A smile can change the entire way somebody communicates with you. If you're trying to express your opinion, which may be different than others, a smile can change the whole way someone perceives you. It can lighten up the mood of a conversation, and it can really bond you with other people, though it may be subconsciously. A smile is always appreciated.
Wonderful. That was an excellent. Do you have other little nuggets that you please share? Please share.
So, my second nugget or a lesson I learned from this book, which is honestly my favorite nugget and something that I needed to hear, but I never knew I needed to hear. And it is to have interest in others, because to be interesting is to be interested. So I believe, and actually Dale also believes, that having interest in others is what gives conversation and what makes you a conversationalist. Because people, though we don't realize it, we're very self centered. We think mostly about what we're doing, what my dog did yesterday, what am I going to do tomorrow, and how my life is going. We don't think too much about others. But in a conversation, if you can think about the other person, if you can talk about what they do, and if you can talk about their topics of interest, that can make for a great conversation. And them doing most of the talking can really help you, especially if it's hard for you to do a lot of talking. So, having interest in others is something that is so valuable and so helpful for conversating.
You are brilliant. It's so true. I think we've all been at the end of the conversation from that person who's just blah, 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 their opinion on you. And they really don't care if you get it or not. They just want to blah, blah, blah at you versus someone who says, I want to know what you think. What do you think? Yeah, you are a lovely conversationalist. And do you have a third one?
Mhm. And my third final point, which is was difficult for me to do because I'm quite the chatty person, and it is to be a good listener. Now, being a good listener, listening to directions that a teacher says, is different from listening to other people talk to you. Listening to others talk to you is something so valuable because if you mention something that you talked about to them in the past, they will subconsciously or consciously try to remember something that you said previously. It will help them remember memories that you've created with them. And listening to what people have to say and giving them insight if they have an issue is so great for the other person and makes them feel appreciated and valued if you care about what they say. So, being a good listener can help you in so many situations, especially meeting new people and making friends.
You are so right. You have a lot of love in the chat, so be sure to save it when you close out. Jackie has a great comment here. You can win more friends in 2 months by showing interest in others than you can in 2 years trying to get them interested in you. And that's a Dale Carnegie quote, of
That
course.
is my favorite quote,
Oh
probably,
my
from
gosh.
this entire book. And it's something that I never realized because people think to make friends, you need to change yourself. But changing yourself is number one and genuine because people will make friends of a different version of yourself. And number two, it's very difficult. I mean, it's very difficult to get a different impression of yourself across. So instead of putting all that effort into changing yourself and becoming a genuine, put effort into others.
My goodness. And what's your next project? Where would you like to see all this excellent work going? Like with your debate club and with, I mean, you're a wonderful speaker and you definitely, I feel warmth and I feel like you're talking with me, not at me. So where do you see that going? Would you like to be a speaker or what do you see yourself doing with this? What would be fun for you?
I would like to be a speaker one day or do something that involves talking to others, as well as I feel like there are many issues in the world that we as women need to confront and obviously fix. So, speaking up on those issues and using these impromptu skills that I have learned and smiling, being interested in others, and being a good listener, all of these nuggets are going to be very helpful when I find an issue that I really feel should be fixed in the world.
That is amazing. It's really true. And the other thing too is that people these days say, "Oh, I got to fix this. Oh, I got to fix that." And they come at it with because you're coming at it from this centered place, from this place of structure and openness and listening and conversation. You're going to have so much more impact than the people who are up there waving their fists. I am so excited for you to come up and represent us as we're going forward to be the one of the wonderful spokespeople coming up in the next generation. Um, we have one more speaker. You're almost the grand finale um, after you, but I would like to know, do you have a favorite quote that you'd like to share and what it means to you?
So, my favorite quote is if you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude. And this quote is by Maya Angelou. Um, and I really love this quote because seeing an issue in the world and changing it is a great thing. But sometimes we as women have debates against each other of what we believe is right and wrong. So coming together and changing our attitudes to find a middle ground of solutions to issues that we all think are things to be solved will really help us become a united force against oppression against women.
Yay! You are magnificent, my dear. It has been such an honor to have you here. And the words of wisdom that you have spoken far exceed your years. And let's see, is there something else in here, up in here? Let's see. Oh, no, they are saying, yay, yay, yay. Everything that you said are being, is being confirmed, is being confirmed. Thank you. Thank you for being on Voices of Women and bringing your beautiful expertise, your beautiful energy, your commitment, your wisdom, and your very calm way of bringing what you have to the front way that I would have a conversation with you, even if it were something I didn't want to have a conversation with you about. You know what I'm saying? You create an openness, you create a space for conversation and communication to begin. And we so need that. We so need that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. You were a great interviewer. You made it much less stressful than I thought it would be, and you were very open and kind in your questions if you had any follow-up ones. And overall felt like we were having a conversation, not that I was being interviewed or interrogated.
Terrific. I felt the same. I felt the same. And I'd be happy to have another one. When I get my voice back would be better. But this has just been a true treasure, a true treat. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And Michelle, take us out.
Thank you for joining us for another amazing session of the Voices of Women Summit, where our mission is to raise the voices of hundreds of women so their messages can be heard. For recordings of all sessions, plus an amazing VIP gift bundle, upgrade to VIP now. If you have any questions or problems during the summit, email our support team at support@voicesofwomensummit.com. Stay tuned. We have another fantastic speaker coming right up.